You just spent nearly 20 minutes feeding your baby. They seemed happy. They seemed completely full. You finally place them gently in their crib, sit down for the first time all morning, and just a few minutes later, they're crying for milk again. At that moment, almost every new breastfeeding mother has the same heartbreaking thought. If you've ever questioned your milk supply, wondered whether your baby is still hungry, or even felt guilty that you might not be feeding them enough, I want you to know something first. You're not alone. In fact, concerns about milk supply are one of the most common reasons new mothers lose confidence in breastfeeding. But what if your baby is actually getting exactly what they need? Here's something that surprises many parents. A baby crying after a feed does not automatically mean they're still hungry. Babies cry because they're tired, because they're overstimulated, because they want comfort, because they simply want to be close to you. In the first few months of life, feeding isn't just about nutrition. It's also one of the ways babies feel safe, secure, and connected. Understanding that one idea can completely change the way you see breastfeeding. So if crying doesn't always mean hunger, how do pediatricians and lactation experts know whether a baby is getting enough milk? Surprisingly, they don't rely on how full your breasts feel. They don't rely on how much milk you can pump. And they don't judge it by how often your baby wants to feed. Instead, they look for a few simple signs that tell the real story. Let's begin with the most reliable sign of all. Not crying, not feeding frequency, not how your breasts feel. Your baby's growth. Healthy babies come in different shapes and sizes. Some feed quickly, some take their time, some ask for milk more often than others, and that's completely normal. What matters most is steady growth over time. If your baby is gaining weight as expected, it's one of the strongest signs they're getting enough milk. Growth tells us far more than a single fussy afternoon ever can. Now let's look at another clue your baby gives you every single day. Their diapers. It might not be the most glamorous part of parenting, but it tells us something incredibly important. Think of it like this. If enough milk is going in, your baby's body has to use it, and eventually let it out. That's why several wet diapers throughout the day are one of the clearest signs that your baby is staying well hydrated and feeding effectively. Sometimes, your baby's diaper tells the story better than their crying ever could. Now let's watch what happens during a feed. A hungry baby often starts feeding quickly, but after those first eager sucks, something interesting happens. The rhythm becomes slower, deeper. You may hear gentle swallowing. You may notice your baby's jaw moving steadily. And by the end of the feed, their little hands begin to relax. Their body softens. And sometimes, they peacefully fall asleep. Those tiny details tell us that feeding is going well. Not because the feed was long, but because it was effective. But what if your baby wants to feed again? Just 30 minutes later. This is where many parents begin to panic. And it's also where one of the biggest breastfeeding myths begins. Here's the truth. Many healthy babies go through periods called cluster feeding. Instead of feeding every few hours, they may ask to feed again, and again, and again. Not because your milk has suddenly disappeared, but because your baby is helping your body produce exactly the amount of milk they'll need in the days ahead. It's one of nature's smartest feedback systems. Let's clear up another worry. Many mothers notice that after a few weeks, their breasts don't feel as full as they did in the beginning. Others become worried because they can only pump a small amount of milk. It's completely understandable to think, something must be wrong. But for many mothers, the opposite is actually true. As breastfeeding becomes established, your body becomes incredibly efficient. Instead of storing large amounts of milk, it learns to make milk when your baby needs it. So softer breasts, or pumping less than expected, doesn't automatically mean you're producing less milk. By now, you've probably noticed something. No single sign tells the whole story. Instead, think of these signs as pieces of a puzzle. Steady growth, enough wet diapers, active swallowing, a baby who's alert and developing well, regular checkups showing healthy progress. When those pieces fit together, they create a much clearer picture than one difficult feeding session ever could. That's why experienced pediatricians don't judge breastfeeding by one moment. They look at the bigger picture. And you can too. Everything we've talked about today applies to healthy babies who are feeding and growing normally. But there are times when it's important to ask for help. If your baby isn't gaining weight, has very few wet diapers, shows signs of dehydration, is unusually sleepy and difficult to wake for feeds, or struggles to feed consistently, please don't wait.
Reach out to your pediatrician or a qualified healthcare professional.
Asking for help isn't a sign that you're failing. It's one of the best ways to care for your baby. Can I tell you something that almost nobody says out loud? Even mothers who are breastfeeding successfully sometimes wonder if they're making enough milk. Those moments of doubt don't mean something is wrong. They mean you love your baby enough to question yourself. And that happens to almost every parent. So if you've ever felt guilty, or worried, or unsure, please know this: you're in very good company. One of the biggest challenges in early parenthood is comparison. Your friend's baby feeds every 3 hours. Yours feeds every 90 minutes. Someone online says their baby sleeps through the night. Yours doesn't. It's easy to start wondering, what am I doing wrong? But babies don't develop from the same instruction manual. Each baby has their own personality, their own rhythm, and their own needs. The goal isn't to have a baby who feeds exactly like someone else's. The goal is to have a baby who's healthy, growing, and loved. So the next time your baby wants to feed again sooner than you expected, I hope you'll remember today's conversation. Instead of asking, "Why is my baby hungry again?" try asking, "What signs is my baby showing me today? Are they growing well? Having enough wet diapers? Feeding actively? Looking alert?" Parenthood is full of questions, and sometimes it can make you doubt yourself. But here's something I'd love you to remember long after this video ends. A baby's cry tells you they need something. It does not tell you that you're failing. Keep watching your baby's growth. Keep learning together. Keep trusting the signs that really matter. Because every loving feed, every comforting cuddle, and every moment you spend responding to your baby is helping them grow in ways you can't always see. You're not just feeding your baby, you're helping them feel safe. And sometimes, that's exactly what they were hungry for. If today's video helped ease even one of your worries, please give it a like. It helps us reach more parents who may be asking the very same questions tonight. And if you're new to Baby Steps with Prachi, subscribe for evidence-based parenting advice explained with warmth, clarity, and compassion. Every week, we help you understand not just what your baby is doing, but why. Because when parents understand their baby, they stop worrying and start enjoying the journey.